Portland and Bangor are the only two departments in the entire state that conduct their own murder investigations. Bangor has 5 unsolved homicides right now. And here at Portland Police Headquarters, there are 17 detectives working various cases. And when it comes to unsolved homicides, they may go cold, but they're never forgotten. August 15th, 1930, patrolman Michael Connolly murdered while foot patrolling the Eastern Promenade. His body was found face down near Fish Point. His hands had been shackled with his own handcuffs. It's believed that Officer Connolly intercepted a bootlegging operation that night, but no one was ever arrested. There's a monument at a local cemetery. Many of his family members went to their graves, never knowing who killed him. His murder took place before detailed records were kept. But in the last 39 years, 11 murders have gone unsolved. One of them, February 2010. 80 years later, February 2010, an armed gunman storms this apartment house in Portland and shoots 25-year-old Darian Richardson and her boyfriend as they sleep.
She was shot in the hand, the thumb. This was shot really off. And then she was shot in the leg, and it traveled up to her hip. And the bullet was still in her hip.
Darian spent 20 days in the hospital. A month later, doctors allowed her to fly to Florida to visit a friend. While there, she developed a blood clot in her leg.
It just collapsed instantly, and they said that she instantly died right then.
Darian Richardson is among the 11 unsolved homicides in Portland. Another is James Angelo, the security guard, shot outside Mercy Hospital in September of 2008. This year's only recorded homicide back in July. Matthew Blanchard, shot to death on India Street, still unsolved. Chief of Police Michael Soschek says open cases are frustrating for everyone involved.
Some of these have witnesses, some of these don't. Times of day, locations, the manner of the homicide itself, and all those things come into play on whether you solve a case in 2 hours or that it takes 20-plus years.
Judy and Wayne Richardson say they hope they won't have to wait 20 years for their daughter's killer to be brought to justice.
It is a cold case, and we always say somebody out there has information.
And even though it's been nearly 3 years, Judy Richardson still talks about her daughter in the present tense.
You think you always will do that?
That's a hard one. Sorry.
They miss the simple things, family dinners, and they watch as Darian's friends are growing up.
They're at that age. They're having babies, and the friends are having babies, all her friends are having babies, and you look at them and it's like, yeah, that's where we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be the grandparents now. And
even a $10,000 reward wasn't enough for someone to come forward with what could be crucial information.
In law enforcement, they talk about like that 48-hour rule, and if you don't get it solved in that first 48 hours, things get exponentially more difficult because evidence, witnesses, information that may be available at that initial scene slowly will dry up as time goes on.
And the victim's family members wait, hoping for not so much closure, but justice.
Yeah, I don't think there's closure ever when you lose your child.
In the case of Darian Richardson, her family is taking every possible opportunity to talk about the tragic case in hopes that somebody might come forward with a piece of information that could crack this case. In Portland, Jim Keithley, News 8.